Good morning or afternoon or night or wherever you're listening to this podcast, everybody. It's me and I'm going insane. I'm going crazy. My head kills, it's 7 o'clock. My head is killing. But I took a couple Tylenol and I'm here. And we just did an interview with Timothy Bright and my boom arm, my brand new boom arm. I got these things because I thought they were the best of the best. My boom arm just decided to stop working at the end of the interview. I said, "Hey, Tim, we'll see you around, man." And all of a sudden, it just decided to stop doing its job. I'm literally losing my mind. This is the third podcast I've done in 3 days. I've done a podcast every single day for the past 3 days. Oh, man. Please subscribe to the Patreon so I'm not doing this for nothing. Thank you. And good night. Not yet. We had Timothy Bright on, rapper extraordinaire. We've had him on the podcast before. He's dropping his EP on January 12th. I'm releasing this January 9th. So that means if you're listening to it the day it comes out, it will be out in 3 days. And it's good. I've heard it. It's a good. I listened to it countless times. It's really good. So if you're interested in rap, if you're interested in music, if you're interested in even creating anything at all, this is a good podcast because we get into all that stuff. We get into his influences in music and just like what it takes to create. Creating's a beautiful thing. It's beautiful. Anyways, I won't waste any more of your time. Here it is, ladies and gentlemen, Brock Gunner vs. the world, Timothy James Bright. Timothy Bright, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you could be doing any better than I am right now, actually, which is crazy. How have you been the past few months? We haven't talked since the last podcast we did, really.
It's been pretty good. Just doing music. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Yeah. So the sole purpose for why you're on today really is to kind of talk about the EP that's coming up. Your first EP you've released, right?
Right.
Coming out January 12th.
Yes.
So this will come out on the 9th. So hopefully just right before the EP drops.
Mm-hmm.
So how long have you been working on this project for?
It's been a concept since like March, and there's been I think 3 to maybe 4 or 5 different versions of it. So yeah, I've been working on it since March, or early April, when I really found the sound I was going for, and and I've evolved since then too. So I also had to adjust to some newer things that I wanted to do with it. So yeah.
Yeah. What were some of the big? What did you have any goals going into it that you really wanted to focus on or accomplish with this first EP?
Well, I have really bad ADHD, so if an album or EP isn't grasping my attention, I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to I just want people to be oh, I can't choose a favorite song. So when everyone I've shown it to so far have been they listened to it all the way through and they liked all the songs, and I had a few people say I couldn't choose one I was that I loved. I liked all of them, so it was good to hear that.
Yeah, I'm one of those people that's I don't like the albums that are super lengthy. I don't need 20 plus songs that are all mediocre. I'd rather have something that's 12 songs that every song is just good. You know what I mean? I'd rather have short albums. So that's why I'm kind of leaning more towards EPs. I think that's kind of the future of music. I think this whole thing where it's hour plus long projects, I feel like that's done. It's going to fade out, in my opinion. Did you hear, Toby Lou?
I know who he is.
He released it was like a 3-track EP, and like every song was like just a different version of the last song. It was kind of like super interesting, but I feel like we're gonna see more of that kind of stuff where it's just a lot of shorter,
I agree.
better projects more consistently instead of every 2 years drop this hour-long project where not everything is really that great.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. I feel the same. Like, because I don't know. I think we're kind of leaving the like Earl Tyler Kendrick like long album phase of things, and I think I really started to see that in like 2016 when I first listened to Suicide Boys, and like I'd see that they drop 5 EPs and they all have 3 songs like
Yeah.
in one day, and it's like wow, like, and they'd all be great in my opinion. So yeah,
Yeah, and
I
I feel
definitely think these are the way to go.
yeah, and I feel like they're more like I really just like when albums and projects are like focused. You know, I don't like when it's
Mhm.
like one song sounds this way and it's just like really scattered. Like I feel like the best version of that, the best example would be like Igor was like I felt sonically was just very consistent throughout the whole album.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I
Crazy.
agree.
So I feel like with
Yeah.
shorter projects we'll see more of that stuff too.
Yeah, and I think everything being coherent is a very important thing. And then another thing is if you're gonna change the mood, like you have to do it like the right way. Like I feel like I was able to do that on my EP because not all of the songs sound really the same. Like they all have hard hitting drums, like they're just like the regular Timothy Bright shit. But first song is like the sad summer thing. The second song is me like talking about missing my friends, but also like it's still like it's a dark kind of sad song when you listen to the lyrics, but it's still kind of hype. And then third song is Dismay, where I'm talking about like doubting myself. And then the fourth song is just me like going off and just letting out like raw emotions. And then the last one is like a Quicksand, of course. It's just like when I listen to Quicksand, I think of optimism and just like think of the future and like all the good things that will come, you know? So it's
Yeah.
like showing how like I was sad about moving and then like over time things kept getting better and better. So yeah.
Yeah. Wait. So what was the deal with Quicksand? Like you released a new version. You replaced it, right? So there used to be
Yeah.
a feature by Red Boy, and then just randomly it kind of changed. What was that about?
So like I don't know, we just got into like a few arguments and like it was to the point where I was like, "Oh, yeah, I don't like this dude. Like I'm not going to have a song with somebody that I don't fuck with like that." And then like I don't know. I don't want to have any music up where I'm not completely happy with it. So if I want to change something, I'm going to change it. So like I was just like, whenever I listen to Quicksand, it'd be like, oh, here comes Red Boy's verse. Let me skip this song because I love Quicksand. Like
Yeah.
that was like a song I listened to a lot like this year because that's like that was one of my favorite at the time when I didn't have that many other songs. That was like my favorite song that I had made. So I I didn't like that every time I'd listen to it, I didn't enjoy it. So I was like, let me just change it. Like, there's nothing stopping me. Like, sure, the views might go down, but like, who cares? And then, as it turns out, that didn't really go down. They were on a steady decline for a little bit, but like then they started going crazy. Like on December 1st, it hit like 301,000, and just the other day, it hit 400,000
Yeah, I saw
like
that. That's
within a month.
crazy.
And that's like, yeah, no, like I got 100,000 streams in a month compared to like everything else. Like I was getting streams like every other day or something. But like I remember one of these days, like I got like 9,000 streams in a day, and I had never done that before. So it was like it was dope. But yeah, I think that changing it was a very like smart decision, and yeah, a lot of people wouldn't do that because of how big a song is. They'd be like, "Oh, well, it's my biggest song. I don't want to change it." Like I do music for other people, but at the end of the day, this is an outlet for me and myself as a person and how I get my emotions out there. So I'm not gonna just keep it so like it'll keep getting streams. I don't care about the streams like that right now. So it's
Yeah.
like I'm just like I just want my art to be how I want it, you know?
Yeah. That right there shows like how much you kind of trust in your own abilities. Cause if I had a song like that, like me personally, just with my own brain, if I had a song with somebody else and it like got mad streams, I would be terrified to change it and like take his feature out. Cause in my head, I'd be like, oh, what if the people are listening to it for him and not for me? So that just shows like you trust in your own abilities and you trust in your own stuff.
Yeah. Hmm.
So you don't have a problem changing any of your music. Do you think that's going to happen again in the future, maybe?
Yeah, I definitely want to remix and master Knock Knock and put that out. I just haven't had time to because I'm working on getting my EP out and then also working on stuff with the collective that I'm in. So just like, yeah, whenever I have time to do that, I want to definitely work on that.
Yeah, and that's another thing I want to talk about. So Out of Reach, I still am like a little bit in the dark on what this is. I follow it and everything, but like I figured it was a collective. But do you want to like explain like how that started, what it is exactly, like who's in it, what the purpose is?
So yeah, I'm just going to the Discord server because I'm like bad at listing
Yeah.
things off of just my head. So uh, if Discord will do its thing, I don't think it will. Okay, there we go. So the group consists of me, Zach, who co-prods a lot of
Yeah.
my stuff. Our friend Daniel that does who plays saxophone. Jonah who does cover arts. Um, my friend Amari who was the other black dude in the quicksand video. Um, our friend Riley that I've known since like I think 10th grade, and like I've always made music with him. Our other friend Daniil, his name is Fetus. He's a rapper from Broward County who's really cool. And then we have a singer named Valentine, and she's dope. But yeah, Zach and I like we were around the time I was finding my sound and really perfecting like the way I wanted to sound. I'm still not there yet, but like around when I found it, like back in April, Zach and I were gonna do like a collab EP, and this is before he started producing. And then like it just never really happened. And then recently we were just like, oh yeah, we should like make a group. Who should we add to it? So we got all of our friends and we like did that. And then yeah, I don't know. We're just like we have a lot of stuff coming soon, and we're working like on a lot of songs. I think we have like 8 songs that are like almost done, and then we like no like 8 songs that are like about to like we're working on right now, and then we have 3 that are on the verge of being done. So yeah, we'll be pushing out like a lot more music and doing shit like that.
That's dope. So for those of you that don't know, Jonah, the person you mentioned, is actually the person that did the cover art for this podcast, which is it looks so great. And I found him through you, so that's fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. Like I always mention, like I love this like community of creators that we kind of have, where you put me on to him, and then I'm like, hey, I can use this kid for my podcast art, and we can like help each other out. I just think that's dope. I just thought I'd put that out there and mention that.
Yeah, it's super dope.
But so who were like on this EP? Who were your inspirations? Would you say? Because I think the one I picked out, like very first, like first track, like felt a lot of Tyler Flower Boy vibes. I don't know if that's accurate, but like who really inspired a lot of the stuff on there?
So that first track, that was actually supposed to be on the Knock Knock beat, because the Knock Knock thing was totally different. It was like a totally different song. I remember describing it as like a science, like kind of like Who Dat Boy, but like very like just darker. And that was gonna be a little like, have you heard Tron Cat before? You know the part where it like slows down? Yeah, it was gonna be something like that, but we didn't use that. Like I sent Zach the zip after I finished recording, and then he sent back the now what's the beat for Knock Knock, and I was like, oh, this is way harder than the other one, so let's just use this. But yeah, what's it called? So that first track, I added some stuff to it and like did a bunch of stuff and like added more instruments to it and everything. Like I put a synth on it, did all that after Zach put chords down. And then I had my friend Riley, who's in Out of Reach, play guitar over it. And then we, yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was just like the perfect intro to like what this is. So yeah, definitely really Tyler inspired. And then I think production wise, the EP is very just like I'd say Suicide Boys and Freddie Dredd inspired, just like underground funk music. And then like lyrically, I'd say the way I'm like talking about my emotions, I can see like there's like a Tyler, Earl, MF Doom influence there. Like even though it's like my own style and my own way of doing it. Like yeah, yeah. I think just like Tyler, Suicide Boys, Freddie Dredd. Oh, just like Tommy Wright the Third, like DJ Glock, just like underground like producers and uh, rappers that like really inspired it. Really, so yeah.
Yeah. So when I listened to like Quicksand the first time, and then even like Knock Knock, I think I was like, you have like a very unique sound. Like it doesn't really sound, it's not trap. It's not really like anything that I've really heard before. But then after we did that podcast, that first one, you mentioned Freddie Dredd, and then I went and listened to him, and then I became like a huge fan of him. So you put me on to Freddie Dredd, and once I started listening to him, I was like, oh yeah, I can definitely tell where he got like his influence from finally. But it's like
Yeah.
definitely you add all your own stuff to it, which is cool. And I saw that somebody asked like your top 3 albums, and Doris was up there. Freaking Doris is one of the best
Yeah.
albums ever.
Yes, I agree. I love that album.
Yeah. So it's just like you have your own unique style, but I like there's just all these other influences you could tell are going into it. But that's art, right? That's how you create your own
Yeah,
brand.
literally, that is art. And like, I'm glad you said that because I think the best compliments that I get is when they're like, "Oh, I can see you're inspired by this person, but you make it into your own thing." Because I remember people used to be like, "Oh, you sound like this," and it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, like that's before I made Quicksand." They'd be like, "You sound like this person. You sound like this person," and it's like, I don't want to sound like them. I want to have my own specific sound. I want you
Yeah.
to see the inspiration I got from them to make my own sound.
Yeah, it's one of the. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this on some podcasts before, but it's like I watched this thing with Quentin Tarantino where he talks about making movies. I see you got a Pulp Fiction poster on your wall, so you
Oh,
know all about Tarantino. But like, so he was talking about making movies, and he like grew up on spaghetti westerns with his dad, and like all these different like weird movies, and he just took all of them and just tweaked it. Like that's how he makes all of his stories. And he started
Yeah.
out like he had the script that he was supposed to edit for some college class, and he tweaked it, and he was like, well, what if it ended this way? So he just started tweaking these different parts of stories that were already made, and eventually started creating his own work out of those influences. And now he has
Yeah.
his own unique style. So that's always something I've just found interesting about creating is nobody ever, when you get into like this kind of stuff, like music or like making movies or something like that, like especially for me, I was like, how do I find, because everybody talks about you got to have your own style, you got to like set yourself apart from everybody else, and I was like struggled trying to figure out how to do that. But then I realized you never just come up with something on your own ever. It doesn't
Yeah.
your brain doesn't just create stuff. It's always from outside influences, and then you kind of tweak and combine stuff together to make something that seems original. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
Yeah,
I'm
no, I get what
rambling.
you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's just something I've always loved about like creating and thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Another influence for the thing was Dr. Dre. I did a lot of like synth stuff. Like I usually just like keep it simple, but I don't know. A fun thing to do when making like beats or whatever is just freestyling like synths or leads onto the thing. Like the one on at the end of Routes, like there's like this synth that I love, and like I remember like freestyling that and just being like, oh my gosh, I'm so cool. I'm
Yeah.
so like awesome. Like afterwards, it's just a great feeling. So yeah, definitely like Dr. Dre, like old Cali, like Master P type shit, like that I was influenced by.
So I'm just curious, when you started working with like Ian, did he put you on to MF Doom, or did you know about Doom before?
I knew about Doom before. I think I learned about MF Doom probably in the 8th grade because I watched a lot of Boondocks growing up,
Oh yeah.
and they have some MF Doom songs in that show. So I found MF Doom through that, and I've been listening to him for like a minute.
Yeah, Doom is one of the most like interesting rappers I've ever seen in this industry, because if you like just pull up an MF Doom song to somebody that doesn't really listen to that kind of music, it's like they will not get it. They'll think this is like terrible. Like if you pull up accordion, if you play accordion from Mad Villain, people will say that's the most garbage thing. But then, and I thought it was garbage. When I first listened to it, I was like, this is terrible. I just never tried to listen to Mad Villainy again. Then I listened a couple more times, and now I'm just like, this is genius. Like, and I don't know. He's like just like one of those guys where his music is just, it's just a crazy style. But I think personally, he has like the best flow of all time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the fact that he's pushed out so many like, because like he rhymes a lot of words and has very like unique like rhyme patterns.
Yeah.
And like the fact that he hasn't run out of things to say is crazy, because I know a lot of people that would like just start recycling old things that they've said and just doing shit like that.
Yeah. So when you look at like a Doom rhyme scheme, if you look at like a standard one, it's like say the line, rhyme at the end, say the line, rhyme at the end. His is like say the rhyme, say the line, and there's like 5 rhymes, and then there's a word in the middle that's gonna rhyme with like this one down here. Like everything is just intertwined and like so, it's crazy. I don't know how it even is a thing. And then you factor in like, are you there still? Okay, yeah. I thought I lost you for a second. And then you factor in
I'm here.
the producing that he does on most of his stuff. It's just crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. He goes so crazy.
The things that I find, what did you do most of the producing on your EP, or did Zach help you with some, or what was it like producing wise?
So Zach did the chords for the first song, and then I did everything else, like all the other sounds. And then Routes was produced by Romeo, and then I added like a synth at the end, and then like choir vocals that are like quiet, but they're noticeable if you like listen for them. Then on Dismay, is that, you know, the part, like the breakdown part that's like sad, because the whole time I'm like talking my shit, but when it gets to the like the more sad part, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
you can hear me really like being like, oh, what if like this doesn't work out? That was produced by Zach. The rest of the beat was produced by me. And then Hotspot, he did this he did the cowbell for that, and then he added this like wow 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 wow, and then I did the rest of it. Because he did that. And then on Quicksand, he like was the one who gave me the idea to sample like a different part of the song. And I think him doing that was a really good idea, because it feels like a whole song right now, at least now it does to me. Because before it felt like, when you compare them, the other one feels like a snippet compared to the one I have out now. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely see. I was going to say something about that too, like when you redid it and added like the vocal part, because I listened to Quicksand, and then when you put like the samples out, I listened to the sample a lot just because it's like a pretty song. I actually like really like it. And I was like, yeah, that would have been sick if you used those vocals. So then when you remixed it and used that first part where it starts to do the melody, it was like, oh, this is perfect now. Perfect now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that is good.
Yeah.
Let me see what other question. I want to do like some hold on. All right, we went through all my questions, but I want to do some games here, you know? Two little games, okay? That have to do with rapping.
Okay.
We're going to see if we can have some fun with this. All right, so this first game, I've saved. Have you ever heard of like the Instagrams where it's like genius lyrics out of context?
Yeah.
Okay, I've saved some of those, and I'm gonna read them out, and I want to see if you can guess who said it, and that's a point. And then if you get the song, that's another point. Okay.
Okay.
These are just random lyrics taken out of context. They thought I was gay. Slat. Whoa.
Playboy Cardi.
Yeah. Okay, there's 1 point. Ding, ding, ding. Nice. Do you know the song?
New Tang.
Okay, this might be way easier than I thought it was going to be. Dang. Yeah, that's 2 points right there. All right, fine. I might piss on your family.
Oh man, I might piss on your family. That sounds so familiar, but like it's so out of context that I don't remember. It's such a like straight up statement too. Like usually when people diss somebody, it's never like that. But I will piss on your family.
It's like a serious rapper. Like he doesn't. I don't. I've never even heard this song, but it's kind
Who
of.
is it?
It's Isaiah Rashad.
Really?
Yeah, on a song called Park, which I
I
haven't
don't
heard.
listen to him.
Oh yeah, what's his one album? Like the Sun's Tirade or something. That's the only one I listen
The one
to.
where he's jumping up on the cover art with
Yeah.
the little cartoon.
Yeah.
I listened to that, but I listened to it once, so I don't know like any of the songs.
Yeah, I've listened to it a few times, but I haven't listened to any of the other stuff. Okay, next one. I go to sleep with a nightlight.
I go to sleep with a nightlight.
Yeah.
I go to sleep with the nightlight. I go to sleep with a nightlight. I need a hint.
You mentioned him before already. You guessed him already.
I go to sleep with a nightlight. Kanye?
Yeah. Kanye West.
Okay. What song is that?
I'm in it. From Yeezus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay, there's 3 points. You're doing pretty well.
Sweet.
Okay, this one's throwing it back. There's a hint. This one's a throwback. What is sex?
I don't know that one.
It's a Tribe Called Quest on their song What? Yeah. I just thought that was hilarious. I don't know the song necessarily.
Yeah.
'Kay.
They're a good group.
Yeah. I'm special needs.
My first like instinct was to like think of somebody who's like a rapper who's actually special needs, but I can't think of any rappers that are special needs.
Do you want me to give it to you?
Yeah.
Mac Miller, Rush Hour.
I'm gonna have to listen to that later and get
Yeah.
some context because I never really listened to him before, but that one,
Yeah. It's way different. Like these lyrics, some of them when I read them, I'm like, I would never have guessed that. Like if somebody just read them to me like I am to you, I wouldn't guess it because it's not like in the context of the song. It's crazy.
yeah.
Okay, last one.
Okay.
This is word for word. I'm not saying this wrong, okay? I'm have AIDS.
Easy E.
T-Pain. In the song I Got It.
Oh yeah, no, I don't listen to T-Pain.
I've never listened to T-Pain once in my life. I just thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, I
right.
have AIDS.
That was our game. That was the first game on Brock Gardner versus the World. That's great. I want to start doing more stuff like that. Are you ready for your next one? This one's gonna be way easier, I promise.
What'd you say?
I said, are you ready for the next game?
All right, but
Okay, this one's gonna be a lot easier. Let me see. I've never screen shared on Zoom before.
yes, I am very ready.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you screen share on Zoom? Am I allowed to do that?
All right.
Share screen.
You go down. Yeah, you can.
Is this working? Oh shoot. Yo, is it working?
Not yet.
How do I do it?
Oh, wait. Okay, wait. I think it's about to start working.
Okay.
It says Kendall Gardner has started screen sharing.
Okay, let me see. I don't know why it's not.
Oh, is that
Freak,
Eminem?
it's messing it up. Is it working?
Yeah, I can see.
Okay, so do you understand the point of this game?
Yes.
Okay, we're going to try and guess the rappers based on their high school pictures.
Okay.
Okay, who is this? First up. This is easy.
The white dude?
No, wait. Is it lagging?
Yeah, no, it's still on your Gmail.
Oh, what? Maybe I have to do it on there then.
Oh,
Okay.
wait. Okay, yeah, I can see now.
Okay, who is this?
Tyler.
Easy.
Drake.
Easy. Yeah, see, I knew this was going to be simple.
Eminem?
Yeah.
Is that Eminem?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Marshall Mathers.
Oh, and then Kanye.
Yeah. And then the last one,
Vince Staples.
Vince Staples. What are you are you being for real?
No.
Okay. I was like, bro, are you kidding? I was about to freak out actually. That was Timothy, for those of you that don't know.
Mm.
All right. I'm off screen.
So funny.
I got to get out of screen share. Okay. All right, man. Do you have anything else you want to say? You want to plug your album and everything like that?
Oh yeah, listen to Psych Out. January 12th. It's gonna go crazy.
It's fantastic. I think my favorite song is Routes. That's probably
that's a
my
good
favorite
one.
one. I just couldn't like. I listened to the first track and I was like, all right, this is freaking dope already. And then Routes came on. I was like,
Bro,
This is great, bro.
Exactly.
yeah.
Bro, because like the guitar like thing at the end is very ominous. So you don't know what's really gonna come
Yeah.
next. And then when it comes, it comes.
Oh man,
Like-
it's so good. Is there a sample for that song, by the way, or is that just a melody? Did you just come up with that melody?
Routes?
Yeah.
Oh, Romel produced that.
Oh, okay. Just so there's no, because if there was a sample, I was gonna listen to that sample because I just like that. Like,
Yeah.
sounds like I don't even know what you call it. Sounds like some like Western European, like I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah,
so
nah,
it's so cool.
though.
It's awesome. All right, yeah. Listen to Psych Out. Support Timothy Bright. What's your Instagram, Timothy James Bright?
It's Timothy Bright, but there's no I in Bright. So it's Timothy Briggett.
Timothy
I
Briggett.
guess.
Go follow Tim. Oh, my boom arm just fell off my table. Go follow Timothy Briggett. This is the best podcast of all time. I'm holding my boom arm. I'm gonna make it in this business one day. I promise. I promise. All right. Nice talking to you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Dude.
See ya.
Bye.
And that was Timothy James Bright, my boy. I still can't believe my boom arm just decided to not work. That is the craziest thing. If a microphone cuts out, it's like, whatever. A boom arm, it's a physical thing. How does it just jump? How does it just leave? Anyways, I bet you notice these podcasts are a little shorter. This one's going to be around 40 minutes. And that's because, you know what? I'm sick and tired of trying to stretch it to an hour when I don't have an hour's worth of content. If I have 30 minutes worth of content, I'm gonna just do 30 minutes. I used to just try and stretch just to get barely past that 1 hour mark. And it's like, who cares? It's just kind of an OCD thing for me. But it's like, if it's 30 some odd minutes, it will probably always stay around 30 plus minutes. But it's like, I'm not going to stretch to an hour. You know what I mean? I'm not going to stretch, especially when people most of the time are like, I would like your podcast if they were shorter. I've had a lot of people say that. I'd like your podcast if they were shorter. Wow. Isn't that the nicest thing anybody could say? Hey, I'd rather listen to you for less time than I can. You don't even have to listen to the full thing. They're like, I would not even like the opportunity to, if I even desired one day, if I just randomly desired, I would not even want the opportunity to listen to you for more than I wanted to. If that makes any sense. Thank you for Timothy to coming on the podcast. I'm a madman. I am losing my mind. Thank you, Timothy, for coming on the show. Truly, I'm stable mentally. But also, not really. So I guess we'll see you guys next week. Next week we'll have Kid Brian on, unless things don't go as planned. You know? Kid Brian, producer, singer, songwriter, not really, producer. Next week on the podcast. It's going to be lovely. It's going to be a lovely ride for us, boys and girls. I'm excited. Good night.